Hello and welcome to the December 9th, 2022 edition of Watching the Tape. Part of your relationship with a financial advisor is tax planning. And I think of tax planning as the process of staying by the client's side as he or she progresses through life and making sure that they avoid unnecessarily large tax bills and basically just conducting their affairs as tax efficiently as possible year to year. It's a proactive process. You can't go back in time, so make wise tax-related decisions along the way. So something that falls under tax planning is a Roth conversion. And this time of year is generally when the conversations and calculations of Roth conversions really pick up around here. So a Roth conversion is not something that you just wake up and do one morning. And it's possible that for some of you out there, a Roth conversion may never make sense. But for many of us, there will be times in our lives during which a Roth conversion makes a lot of sense. So you want to be ready. So just quickly, a Roth conversion is when some or all of your traditional tax-deferred IRA money is converted into a Roth IRA. It's simple. Unlike contributing to a Roth IRA with your earnings, there are no income tax limitations on conversions. So the outcome of a conversion is that the converted amount will count as ordinary income and be taxed as such in the year of conversion. So, but then that money grows tax-free and will be tax-free upon distribution back to you for living expenses down the road. Also, Roths don't have RMDs or required minimum distributions later in life like traditional IRAs do. And then one more thing, a less discussed benefit of a Roth is that they are much better than traditional IRAs when it comes to passing along wealth to your children or other beneficiaries at the end of your, let's call it the end of your financial planning time horizon. Now, I will say on that last point there, not everyone thinks that that's as good a benefit as we do, and I've heard more than once that that's just not my problem. So be that as it may. Moving along here, the question comes up a lot: when is it the right time to make a Roth conversion? When does it make sense to make a Roth conversion? And there aren't necessarily hard and fast rules, but typically you want to convert when, one, your IRA investment values have declined dramatically. They've fallen precipitously. For example, in March of 2020, in the face of COVID lockdowns, stocks sold off tremendously. Now, this is long-term money, so that was an opportunity to convert a lot of shares from your traditional IRA into a Roth at depressed valuations. You pay taxes, you pay ordinary income taxes on those depressed valuations, only to see after that conversion has been made, if it was, that those share prices recovered and are going to grow into the future, and all of that money is going to be tax-free after you've made that conversion. Two, in the years in which your income is depressed or years in which you're not making a lot of money. So typically that's if you take a break from your career, or more commonly, it is after you retire, but before you start drawing from your traditional IRA or collecting Social Security, in some cases a pension. So there's a period during which your income is depressed. And that's when you really want to fill up the bucket, I guess we call it. There's a 12% tax bracket. At a minimum, you want to fill up that 12% tax bracket with Roth conversion money. It's really hard to imagine that your taxes will ever be lower than 12% in the future. So it's on that second reason that we're going to spend a little more time filling out the 12% tax bracket. And for that, we are going to go over to our tax planning software. It's called Holistiplan. I'm not a tax expert, so this software is very helpful in helping us do these kind of scenario analyses. I would call this foolproof because you put in the numbers, and we have, we're obviously conversational in taxes, but there might be things that we could overlook, and this software will help us capture all of those things. All right. So in this example, we have John and Jane Jones, who just retired. It's a hypothetical couple, and we have last year's tax returns. So 2021 tax returns, they earned $200,000 in wages, taxable interest of $2,000, and dividends of $6,000. And that was it. Pretty simple tax return for 2021. So as we go down, after subtracting out the standard deduction, the taxable income is about $183,000, or it was $183,000 last year. So that put them in the 24% tax bracket, and not by much, but definitely in the 24% tax bracket. All right, let's fast forward to this year. So we're looking at what we know to be their income for 2022. So 2022 estimated. As we go down, like I said, they retired, but let's say Jane did some consulting work for a former employer and earned $50,000 in wages. Taxable interest is the same, $2,000. Dividends are the same, totaling $6,000. But there's one thing that's unique about 2022 is that they did sell some securities to fund their lifestyle. And by doing that, they realized long-term capital gains of $5,000. And then that's it. So if we go down to AGI, 63,000, subtract out the standard deduction of about 26,000, you get to $37,000 in taxable income. That is firmly within the 12% tax bracket. So this is a golden opportunity right here to fill up the remainder of that 12% tax bracket with a Roth conversion. So how do we calculate that? Well, we can go here and click on Solve for Max, and then this will tell us how much more income can be recognized this year before bumping up into another tax bracket. So we click on that. Next change in effective rate is $46,000 from here. So that is the quick and dirty answer right there for what the Roth conversion amount can be. But let's take another look at this. We'll click on Range Calc, and it'll show a graphical representation of what we just discussed. So this chart right here is for ordinary income, and it shows the tax impact of the next $1,000 in ordinary income. So it goes all the way out to $250,000 of extra income that this hypothetical couple could potentially earn or recognize in 2022. And what happens? It shows the stair stepping into different tax brackets. So as we go along from where they were, $37,000, and start moving to the right, they stay in that 12% tax bracket. If you can squint there, you see $46,000. So that was our answer for the Roth conversion amount. But something funny happens here, and this is why I consider this idiot-proof software, because it's not glaringly obvious when you're quickly putting something like this together what this might be, but it is, if you recall, the Joneses had to sell securities and realize $5,000 in long-term capital gains, and they had $4,000 of qualified dividends. So those two components are taxed at more favorable tax rate, the long-term capital gains tax rates. And when I say more favorable, I mean if taxable income is below $83,000 in 2022, they're not paying any taxes on those qualified dividends or long-term capital gains. But you get above that and you trigger the next move, which is into the 15% tax bracket for qualified dividends and long-term capital gains. And that is what it is showing here. You're triggering that tax on those on that income that otherwise we would not want to have tax. And so we don't want that period. And so that's why the $46,000 is the number. So it doesn't push us into that next bracket for capital gains. So that is it. Hope you found this example helpful. Any questions on this? This is not meant to be to capture every aspect of a Roth conversion. So you may have questions. Give me a call. That's what we're here for. Otherwise, I'll see you in 2 weeks.